Hi and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. It is Thursday the 5th of May 2022. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the market town of Brackley, and that's in Northamptonshire in the UK. I do apologise for sounding a little bit croaky. I'm just suffering from a summer cold at the moment, which is really frustrating. I'm hoping it's on its way out. I keep saying to myself it's on its way out, and hopefully it will be very soon, but it seems to be hanging on for the moment. So do forgive me. I will try not to make this too long so you don't have to listen to my rather squeaky, weird voice. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. This week we've been using the Bottled Happiness stamp set, as you will have seen from the various cards that we have created. And today I'm going to step it up. I'm also casing the catalogues. I'm going to try and recreate one of the cards from the catalogue, but I'm stepping up to make this a shaker card using some brand new products. So those products include our bottle punch, which punches out the bottle shape. I know it's difficult to see like that. Let me do it like that. And that coordinates with this bottle shape here. Also going to use these little vintage domes. So these are bottle domes, and this allows us to put something in the bottle. I have known people to add liquids into here. I have to say personally I wouldn't risk that, but what we do have in our catalogue are these Effervescent Elements. Oh, thank you, Babsy. And they're like, what are they like? Tiny, clear marbles, I suppose. I mean, they are quite heavy. It's difficult for you to see, but the idea is that they look like bubbles, and I know you can't really see it from there. And I'm going to use those in combination with this little dome and the bottle punch. Let me show you what I'm going to recreate from the catalogue. So this is from our new catalogue, and this is on page 16, and there's two excuse me, great examples using the bottle punch and the domes. There's this one here that says sending a little message, and they've rolled up a small piece of paper by the looks of things and put it in the bottle. Appreciate it's quite difficult for you to see that detail. And then this one here on the right is the one that I'm going to recreate, albeit in different colours and things. But basically we've got a card, a white layer, and then a layer of wood effect paper, and then the bottle has been cut out of that piece, the dome has been added, and the little elements popped inside. So that's what I'm going to try and recreate, and I'm going to use these colours, the yellows and the green. I'm going to use Daffodil Delight and Pear Pizzazz, but my background paper will be different. So I haven't had a go at this, so I'm hoping I might need to bring my picture back. I'm hoping that we can recreate it. Hi Louise, thanks for joining us. So here's the stamp set. Here is the bottle punch. The domes here come in pack of 10, and then the elements, it does tell you how many you get in the pack. There's a lot of them, and just be careful you don't open the wrong way round. The quantity says approximately 2,300 pieces, and they vary in size from 2.5 to 4 millimeters. Okay, so what I'm going to do to start with now, I haven't decided which colour I'm going to have the back on the back of my card, so I'm going to use a card that opens this way today, just for a change. So that is an A4 cut in half at 10.5 centimetres, and then I've scored it in the centre, and then I'm going to put one of these layers on. These are not the new papers. I'm waiting for my new papers to come in for these colours, so I've had to use an old colour, an old paper for the minute. I hope you forgive me for that. So I have got Pear Pizzazz, but I've also got some Daffodil Delights. I'm not 100% sure which one I'm going to use, but the work is all going to happen on this piece here. So what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to punch my bottle. So it obviously only goes to the bottom of the punch here, so there's not a huge gap at the bottom because the punch itself is quite tall. I've just centered that roughly. There's my bottle, and I will recut this. This is currently 12.5 centimeters by about 8, but what I want to do is create my little section, and then I might trim it down if I need to fit it onto my card, like so, because I'm not sure how much space I need for the flowers. Okay, so slightly experimental, shall we say. Okay, now one thing I am going to do is that this is going to have a bit of shading on the back. In the photograph they've left it white behind, but I think it'd be quite nice to have this looking like it's got something in it already. So what I'm going to do is just put this piece of card behind, because that's what I'm going to use to contain my Effervescent Elements. And I could stamp that, but I think what I'm going to do is just use I'm trying to see what colour these are. Sort of not quite one or another. I just want a light, so I'm just thinking maybe light mint macaron. And what I'm going to do is just create this background behind where the bottle is going to go, like so. So I'm just using a blends pen, but you could use an ink pad. Okay, I just want to give it the effect of some depth behind it. Okay, actually I might just do a small amount of shading. we'll see. So I apologise. Oops, I've got my drink in front of my microphone. So sorry if that was quiet. Do let me know if the volume is okay. Okay, so just blending that in. Like so that when that is on there, it looks a little bit more realistic. So could use some designer paper for this as well if you wanted to. Okay, I just want the effect of something like that in the background. Hope that makes sense. Hope I've got enough space. Just about. Okay, so let's stamp the flowers onto here. Hi Brenda. Just going to clean the flowers off. I hope you're enjoying your catalogue, Brenda. So I think I'm going to go. So this is the design that we're going to do, but without the stamp bottle. We're going to do these, use these little domes. So I've got Daffodil Delight. Oh, thanks, Babsy. I don't know whether it's going to work, of course. Let me just grab a mat. Put underneath. So if you're waiting for a catalogue from me, stack of catalogues went out this afternoon. So, but don't hesitate to message me just to make sure that you're on my list. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down. Oh, bless you, Brenda. I don't know how they do it. There we go. So there's our flowers. And then we're going to add the foliage. Have you got a favourite, Brenda? That's the question. I don't think I have yet. There's too many nice things. I almost have the opposite problem. When there's too many nice things, I struggle to know where to start, if that makes any sense. Okay. I'm just going to stamp this Pear Pizzazz off. Okay, that's fine. Too many. Bless you. Okay, so I'm just going to align up these centres as we've done before. There we go, hopefully that's in line or close enough. Oh yes. Let me bring that up for you to see. Hopefully you can see that all right. Okay, let's cover this ink pad up. And this one. Okay, so our dome is going to go on the back of this piece, and then the whole thing is going to go onto here, but with my little piece behind. like so. I'm hoping the dome isn't too shiny for you. And then it's going to have the effervescent bits inside. Okay, so that's my plan. I love the idea in the catalogue of a little message rolled up. That's inspired. Okay, so to put this piece on, all we have to do is remove the adhesive strip. So there's adhesive on the front and also on the back. It makes it really easy for shaker domes. And we've had these in lots of other shapes. And I want to do this one first. Okay, so I'm peeling that off. This would be great for a wedding card or a celebration card, like a, you know, a 50th birthday or something. So this is the front, that's the sticky side. So just going to pop that. Oh yes. So I forgot to do the piece of wood behind, which is this here, to make it look like it's on a table. So let's see if we can rectify that. So what I'm going to do is, you can tell I'm not 100%, can't you? I apologise. Right, I don't need all of that piece. All I need is a piece that wide and about that high. So let's do this darker piece here, like so. And this width is approximately 8 centimetres. I had in mind that I should have done this before, but I think we can get away with it. Ooh. It's a bit narrower than I thought, but I might trim that. I'll trim that down. So what I'm going to do is put this in, excuse me, centralised, like so. And then it will fit excuse me, onto there, like so. So it should give the illusion of being on a table. I think I'm going to trim that down very slightly across the top. Make that 2.5 centimetres. So what I could have done is attach this first and then punched it all out together, but I think I've got away with it, like so. Bit of an optical illusion, isn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do to increase that illusion slightly is take a brown blending brush and a brown ink pad and just make the back a little bit darker. So just to do that. Thanks, Babsy. Just realised it in time. I hadn't really thought through, to be honest, how I was going to do that. But I sort of felt that I could put it on first and then punch them together. There we go. Excuse me sniffling. Do apologise. Okay, so that's going to go onto there. So I feel that I can stick that down straight away. There we go. Okay, and what I want to do, which I'm hoping I can still do with the bottle in place, it might not be able to, is just trim that edge. That was a bit of luck. Actually, it's slightly narrower on this side. There you go. Oh, let's put it that way. Or not. Now, there we go. Okay, so saved. It's ever so slightly to the right of centre, but I think I'll forgive myself that. Okay, so this is going to go behind, and I'm not really worried that this is not going to be central, because what we're going to do now is add in our effervescent elements and then remove the strip and put this on the back. Now, I really need to know where that's got to go, don't I? So I just want that going just off the right hand side. So what I'm going to do is my usual trick. Just marking that, so when I come to put this on, I know that's roughly in the right place, she says. Okay, so here they are. I think I could have done with a spoon. Oh my goodness, they really are tiny. They really do go everywhere because they're completely round. So you could use sequins if you don't want yours to go everywhere. Right. I think that will be enough. I don't want to overfill it because there'll be no movement. I don't want to underfill it to make it look like this, you know, I'm being mean and there's nothing there. Okay, I'm taking this off after I put the pieces in, because if it's sticky then they'll stick to that. And then here's my piece going on the back. Pressing that down. There we go. And there's our beads. In fact, you can just see my colouring behind, especially when you tip them up. But I think you could get away without colouring it if you didn't want to. Okay, so that's the fiddly bit done. So now just work out if we need to trim this to put it onto here. Now I think what I'm going to do is try and trim this very slightly on the left, and in the catalogue they had some ribbon round here attached to the top and a little sentiment on the top as well. That's really cute, very pleased with that. Okay, so let's stick this layer down. This is almost the same size as the white card, which is 10.5 by 14.85. I haven't left a border because I want plenty of that paper to be seen, and I think I'm going for the green. Let me just have a look. Yes, I think I prefer the green behind it. I can't wait to get the new papers in all of the colour families, because they've got some with flowers on, which I like. Okay, so that layer is down, and the only reason I want to trim that is because this is slightly to the right. Just the way I've stamped it slightly down. But I don't want to make a mess of it. So really it wants to come on this right hand side, because the right hand side of the ruler is shorter than the left hand side of the ruler. Made it. Because I knew it was going to be close on the bottle. Okay, so that is going to go onto there. Now I could have a piece of yellow behind it, but I think there's a lot going on as there is. But I am just going to put a little bow, I think, and I think that will be it. So this is sealed on the back of the piece of bottle, because it's got the double-sided, well, the double tape on it. So I'm confident that nothing is going to leak out of those, especially those tiny little, almost like clear ball bearings. Okay, let's add this. Top of the glue. Like so. There we go. And it stands really nicely. I'm going to grab some. I know I've got some white ribbon that I think I will use for that. Let me just grab some, unless I can see some yellow ribbon to hand. Oh, I know I've got bumblebee ribbon. Which I know has retired, but I had to treat myself to some before it went. I'm a bit of a fan of gingham to start with. There we go. Edge of this out. If you were clever, would you want, no, I was thinking you could lie the ribbon behind, but in fact that wouldn't be a good idea because it would give you a bit of a gap between the bottle and the back of the paper, so let's not do that. There we go. A little bit smaller, so there we are. That's going to go onto there. So I think I'm going to make this my make and take for our team meeting next week. So I'm lucky to have a lovely team of people, of which Babsy, who's watching, is one. And we have a monthly in-person team meeting and a monthly online team meeting. So I'm thinking that this would be rather good fun to do for our make and take. Just grabbing 2 glue dots because this is curved. I want to put 2 on there. So I'm going to put one slightly on one side and then one on the other. So if you like this stamp set, I've been featuring it all week. So I have, so this will be the 4th video featuring this. There it is. And you can find those all on YouTube. And I have a collection for the new catalogue 2022 to 2023, and these will all be listed in that playlist. So there we go. I'm going to leave that because I might make this a get well card. I think it would be a lovely get well card, or a birthday card, or an anniversary card. So I'm going to leave that for the moment and put a sentiment on it later. But there we go, a very easy shaker. I've only used a small amount of these amazing effervescent elements, so I think they would go a long way. And the domes come in a pack of 10, and obviously there is the punch, which you can buy with the stamp set as a bundle. So you can buy the stamp set and the punch for £36 altogether. That obviously is the price for the UK. And the domes are £7.50 and the elements are £7. Thank you, Brenda. So £14.50 plus 36 is £50 and 50 pence to buy the stamp set, the punch, the bottles, the domes and the elements. So I'll do that as a flat £50 for anybody who is interested. Okay, so there we go. Thank you so much. It's Thursday evening, so that's the last one of the week for me. And I look forward to crafting with you next week. I do have coffee and card tomorrow, Friday, in Brackley, 3 till 4 p.m. And then in Toaster on Monday, I have to think about that, 2:30 to 3:30. So I hope you like the card. Let me just lift it up. Obviously I can add a little bit of bling onto the card itself, which I probably will do. But I hope you like the finished result. And I saved it. Whew. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. Do take care. Have a good evening, afternoon, whenever you're watching. And thank you for supporting me and following me. Take care, everyone. Bye for now, and do keep crafting. Cheerio.